What's up, y'all? Goofy Rexy here. Hope everybody is doing well. And we're back to that time of month again where we're going to be doing a roster review video. This is going to be day 1098 that we've been playing Marvel Strike Force here. Today, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. Scourge teams, what I'm going to be doing for Famine Scourge here. Going to give you kind of an update. There's some minor changes and we'll talk about that there. My Dark Dimension 5 progress, sort of where I'm at so far right now, what I'm going to be planning towards as we look to complete Dark Dimension 5. Cosmic Crucible report, like with the success that we've been having, the teams that we've been using on offense and on defense. We'll talk about that and some more stuff, right? So we'll talk about teams that I'm going to be, or things that I'm going to be working on in the future. I'll show you also, hopefully I'll remember to show you what I'm using for my tech raid Doom teams right now and the success I'm having there. And yeah, so lots of stuff to talk about, guys. Let's actually jump right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is Scourge plans right now. And for the Famine Scourge event, it looks like we're probably about a week or 2 weeks away from the patch. And then of course, next patch is going to be when we're going to be getting the Famine Scourge event here for Rogue. My overall plan though with Famine Scourge is sort of kind of just not over investing. I'm just not sure that I'll have the time necessary to push for optimal runs, right? The last time for the Scourge event for Morgan Le Fay, I was only able to do 3 runs, and I honestly was setting myself up to do a 4th run, which probably would have got me 1.6. I was only able to get 1.4 because I only did my 3 runs. It's just didn't have the time, and being that Famine Scourge probably will run towards the end of June, that's going to be when kids are out of school, so it may get a little dicey then. Hopefully, though, I really do want Rogue at 6 stars, so we'll see where we go in regards to that, but we're not going to overinvest yet. So I'll kind of show you what I've been doing so far, sort of the plan that I have here. So first, my main team is going to be Young Avengers, right? This is going to be where I'm going to have them. Because they are going to be my main team, I was holding off on bringing up America Chavez and Echo to level 85. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Echo and America Chavez, bring them up to level 85. I'm not sure if I'm going to G15 them yet, but it's a possibility that I might, being that they are going to be my main team, and I do want them to be very strong, just like how my Web Warriors were 85 and 15 as well. I think that I'm probably going to end up doing that. I'm getting a lot of value out of Young Avengers right now as well. I mean, they're great in Cosmic Crucible. They're kind of one of my best teams on offense in Cosmic Crucible right now, especially in rooms 4 and in rooms 5. They're getting me a lot of wins on war defense. With Squirrel Girl's an amazing character. Kate Bishop I'm using in the Tech Doom raids right now. People have been talking about Squirrel Girl as a Dark Dimension option. I heard that she's actually done pretty well there as well. I still think she's kind of expensive. She's 72 mini uniques, right? So I don't know. That's expensive to me, but she does have another, she's not OS formula, right? So if you're looking to bring in other Web Warriors, maybe she saves you a little bit on the gear side in terms of the hero unique, because nobody else is really using augmented unstable cloth. Maybe there's some value that you can get from her there, and she is a great character, so you'll find some value where that is concerned. Now, in regards to other teams, right? So Young Avengers is my main team. What about A-Force? What am I doing with that team right now? So for A-Force, I will say this. I am not convinced about the team. I am slowly building Nico and Spider-Woman. As you can see, that's the reason why they're at level 70, but I still have them at gear tier 8. I do plan on equipping the extra gear on them. I'm just building up their levels first. I think I'm going to park them at level 75 and probably get them to gear tier 12, at least these two. As you can see, Captain Marvel and JJ are already at G14 because my initial plan was to build out a secondary team I've gone through so many different plans, but one of my plans was to bring them all to 75 and 14, like I did with Dark Hunters towards the end of Morgan Le Fay Scourge, just to use as a better SAC team on Node 10. So I might probably do that with this A-Force team as well. I just don't like Nico's RNG kit. That's still pending, so we're probably going to bring them up to 75 and 12, Spider-Woman and Nico, and leave them there. And then if I do need them for the Scourge event, then I'll probably build them up to 14. Ideally, though, for an optimal run, you're probably going to want to at least have your secondary team at 80 and 14 as well for an optimal run. Not for the unlock. You'll be able to get an unlock easier than that. But for an optimal run, maybe want to get them at 80 and 14. The Inhumans team, I'll kind of show you what I'm doing with some of the characters right now for Inhumans. So I really am only considering Black Bolt and Yo-Yo here. More Yo-Yo than Black Bolt, right? Like using Yo-Yo with A-Force, I think would be a good direction to go in. If I wanted to leave off a character like Nico because I was worried about her RNG kit, or if I didn't want to use Spider-Woman because I don't feel like she's that good outside of war, then maybe I'll slot in Yo-Yo and Black Bolt onto that team and use, you know, use 3 of the A-Force characters with Yo-Yo and Black Bolt, right? So that's probably a direction that I would go in. Crystal, I'm still just kind of on the fence about. Yes, her health has improved, but I don't know if it's improved enough for me to care about it. I do want to say this though, like for optimal runs, if you're looking to like get a really, really good optimal run, you're probably going to need all 3 teams, right? You're probably going to need Inhumans. You're probably going to need A-Force. You're probably going to need the Young Avengers. I'm talking about if you're trying to push for like 6 and 7 stars, that's probably the direction that you're going to have to go in, just because you're competing against other players and other players are also going to be pushing as well. Me personally, I'm okay with a 5-star. I would, if I have the time for it, I definitely will push for a 6-star. And if that's the case, I'm probably going to have to circle back to Inhuman, circle back to A-Force, and build them up a little bit higher just to be able to get those optimal runs, right? Which I am prepared to do just in case, because, you know, I love me some Rogue, man. So that might be the direction that I go in. But let's talk, that's Scourge. Let's talk about some other stuff here. Let's talk about Dark Dimension 5 and sort of my progress so far. So we are through the global section of Dark Dimension 5, and I'll show you what I've used. So if you're kind of new to the channel, I'll show you what I've used so far for City. So for City, I use Shang-Chi, I use Spider-Man, I use Cloak, Ghost Spider, and then I also use Scarlet Spider. So that was my 5-person team. It was okay. I kind of didn't really, because I was gonna wait a long time for global, it did take me a lot longer on some of the nodes to get through it than probably I would have liked to, but I wasn't going in and resetting nodes and then trying to go back in and do it again. I was just kind of like, dude, I'm not gonna be ready for global anyway, so what's the point of me trying to speed through this run? Literally makes no sense. I think though, one of the things that I will say is that Scarlet Spider didn't really do anything for me other than provide a little bit of healing for Spider-Man and Ghost Spider. So if I really truly was being incredibly patient and I didn't really care about the Mystic gear, I probably would have gone in with Dagger and Cloak. Dagger and Cloak alongside Shang-Chi, Ghost Spider, and Spider-Man would have made it like a cakewalk if I had done it that way. Just that, you know, I didn't want to spend the Mystic gear on Dagger, so that's the reason why I didn't do it, because I also wanted to spend Mystic gear on Doom, and then eventually spending on Cersei and Icarus, and then spend it on Morgan Le Fay that we have now, right? Well, I didn't know about Morgan Le Fay then, but thank goodness I knew that there was going to at least be another Mystic character there. So yeah, that's what I used for City. That's how I got through it. For Global, I'll show you what I use for Global as well. For Global, I use Doom, Captain America Sam, Emma, Sharon Carter, and then Lady Deathstrike. I probably just passed her. Yeah, Lady Deathstrike, smooth, really smooth run. Yeah, really no regrets there. Other than maybe Emma in terms of like the mutant gear, just because of the cost. But I am getting value out of her right now in Arena, so I really can't say that that's a regret. Yeah, she's expensive, but I'm getting so much value out of her right now. Yeah, just no regrets there whatsoever. I'll spend the mutant gear on that again, even with the options that are available right now. But for Cosmic, we are a little bit at a standstill right now with Cosmic because we're waiting on gear. So I'll show you who I already have ready to go. So I have Cersei and I have Icarus ready to go right now, but I am waiting on enough gear for Kestrel. So for me, Kestrel it's just origin gear. I have the mini uniques available, but I just used these not too long ago to spend on Sharon Carter. So I'm a little bit short on some of that origin gear. And honestly, I don't really have a ton of origin tech gear either. So once I spend this on Kestrel to get her going, I'm also going to be short on T'Challa, because T'Challa is also a character that I was planning on bringing into Dark Dimension 5 as well. So in terms of like the characters I'm bringing in, it's Kestrel who I'm waiting on. It's Star-Lord T'Challa who I'm going to have to wait on again. Cersei and Icarus are already there. And then my 5th character, I think it's just going to be Magic. she's 36 pieces. She is a mutant character. I just don't really see any other available options that make sense. I flirted with the option of Phyla-Vell, but I took her off because of what else I'm going to be doing in Legendary, which I'll talk about in a little bit. There's just really no other character that makes sense. I mean, Minerva, but she's expensive and she's tech, and she's also out of the meta right now. So it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now, a lot of you guys may say, well, what about Ravager Stitcher? Yeah, I'm not spending that gold to bring him all the way up there. I mean, 10 million gold just to be able to get him there. I just don't want to do that. That's more, the juice is not worth the squeeze, in my opinion, where that is concerned. So I'm just going to be patient. I'm going to wait. I'm going to bring in Magic. I plan on, one of my passion project teams is going to be Uncanny anyway, so I'm quite okay with bringing her in. And yeah, we'll just kind of wait until we get that gear. Now for Legendary, we did make some changes in regards to Legendary, which we're going to talk about right now. So Omega Red's a lock for me. Morgan Le Fay is a lock for me as well. Shuri is a lock. Like, those three characters are absolute locks. I flirted with options of bringing in Phoenix as a option, but now that Rogue is coming to the game, I'm most likely just gonna wait and be patient and bring in Rogue. I also had Jubilee on the list, but I don't really see there being a need anymore, just based on how the meta is going, to spend the mutant gear on her, and it's just going to be way too many mutants in Legendary. So therefore I'm kind of going against that, and I only want to bring in 2 mutants, because I'm already going to be spending some mutant gear on Magic. So therefore I'm going to bring in Omega Red, I'm going to bring in Rogue, Morgan Le Fay, Shuri, and then the 5th character, I'm not like a huge fan of this, but I heard that people got a lot of value out of her. It's going to be Invisible Woman, which is the reason why I didn't want to spend the bio gear on Phyla-Vell, because I'm going to be bringing in Invisible Woman as a legendary character for my run. Now, if the next patch brings in a bio legendary character, I'll probably pivot and then go in that direction, right? So we'll see. Right now, it's penciled in. Legendary is so far away because of the gear and the way that things are setting up. Cosmic Crucible is helping out with some of the gear, but it's still taking time, guys, to be able to get things going, because the Origin gear is not plentiful. The mini uniques are actually better. I'm getting a lot more mini uniques, but the Origin gear is still a little bit of a problem as well. So that's kind of the direction that we're going to be going in for in regards to Dark Dimension. Maybe we'll talk about it again next month, guaranteed, because maybe we'll just be getting what our cosmic characters ready to even start Dark Dimension 5, the way the gear is going. But let's shift gears here. Let's talk about some Cosmic Crucible. Kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a report on Cosmic Crucible here. So sort of my overall strategy with Cosmic Crucible right now is to put enough on defense to make it interesting, but mostly have what I need offensively, just in case something on defense is placed there that I'm just not, that, hey, I'm just going to need the firepower to be able to deal with. But I'll show you guys what I have on defense just as a quick update here. So my record so far in terms of like the trials that we've done is 7-2. I think I actually won one of the Crucibles. Like I came in ranked 1 in one of them. I think it was the second one that I came in rank 1 as. But just going through this really quickly again. So I have Symbiote. I have the Web Warriors here with Symbiote, Spider-Man on defense. Spider-Punk I took out because he doesn't really provide an insane amount of value. Like, he's okay, but doesn't provide an insane amount of value outside of raids. And Symbiote Spider-Man gives him 30% max health. He can also extend the negative effects. They apply a lot of negative effects. So therefore, now I will say this, like, without Spider-Punk, they can't gain offense up whenever they do dodge. So you do kind of lose that with the other Web Warriors. But I think that the RNG dodge in general is enough. And it's not like I'm using this team on offense. It's just defense, just to be annoying, right? So that's really kind of why they're there. And then we have Ghost with Axeman. The idea here why Ghost is here behind, well, Bishop taunts, right? So that's it. Bishop taunts anyone that's targeting Bishop with any sort of adjacent hits is also going to hit Ghost. Ghost also has a counter, Bishop has a counter, so they're going to get double countered. And also Ghost as well, with her basic attack, is going to reduce the speed bar of the target that she just hit with her counter. So that's kind of the idea with this team gear. Once again, it just makes it more annoying. Gives them a little bit of an opportunity, right, to probably get some turn meter if they kill a character too. So that's sort of the reason why that's there. This team right here in room 3, I'm not using them on offense. Scarlet Witch, I don't really use her in Cosmic Crucible on offense either, even with Darkhold. This team is sort of just one of those, we're hoping to kind of just get some quick kills here. Scarlet Witch has synergy with Ghost Rider and also with Elsa being a supernatural character. Scarlet Witch's ult, when she ults, she's gonna give turn meter to the entire team, because Ghost Rider gives turn meter whenever they land negative effects. So she's extending those negative effects, and she's also applying negative effects herself as well. So therefore, she's gonna give some turn meter to the team. So there could be an issue where the flex with her special could be a problem in this room, because if they do get a deflect, it does flip. But the hope here is that you're doing enough damage to sort of negate that, and that's not going to be a problem. Room 4, it's just one of those things where just speed and offense, right? If Yo-Yo Goge, if she crits on turn 1, that's great. Then that gives speed meter to Shatterstar and Longshot. Then they can kind of get going. If Hawkeye crits with a special ability, that turn meter rewind, then it speeds them up again. And then Black Bolt's there to kind of clean up, has some assist mechanic with Yo-Yo. It's just kind of one of those things where, hey, this could go bad. I've actually gotten one win with this so far, and one with this as well. I think so far all the rooms from 3 through 6 I've at least gotten one win on so far. Wakandas are great in room 5. Even at this lower power level, they're still very good. I'm still getting a lot of value out of them there. And in room 6, yeah, new warriors are good. Ideally, I probably would take out Deathpool and maybe swap in another character. I've seen where there've actually been some people who have tried to counter this team, and I think Sinister may have cloned one of their characters that they tried to use a counter with, and this team has actually won 3 or 4 times on defense for me already. So I'm definitely keeping it. I'm not taking it, getting rid of it. Silver Surfer can ability route the wrong character for them, so that could suck. So it's gone pretty well so far. So those are kind of what I've been doing with Cosmic Crucible on defense. On offense, I'll show you. Oh, that's the wrong place to go. On offense, I'll show you what my Cosmic Crucible teams do look like and what I've been using. So yeah, I use Secret Avengers. Usually I don't use Shang-Chi here. I use Shang-Chi with Young Avengers. So I'll throw back in Nick Fury. Most of the time, so they just don't do very well in like 3, 4, 5. Like they don't do very well in those rooms because the teams that are usually in those rooms. So it's usually 1 and 2 where I am using this team, and they usually can kind of blow through that pretty quickly. Infinity Watch, primarily I'm using them in room 3 and in room 6. So get a ton of value out of them there. The Darkhold, I actually used this team against a Stormhold team and I won. But I don't think that's going to be repeatable. The Dormammu was only 5 stars and 3 reds. I think Morgan Le Fay was only 4 stars. So like it wasn't like this. It's not what I would see in my arena shard, right? It was just, they just got Dormammu. I'm not going to beat my chest about that one. That one was kind of like a little bit of luck and just not a scenario that I'll probably win often. But yeah, my team, I think even like their Doctor Strange was like G14 or something like that. So it wasn't like a super powered Dormo team, but yeah, this team is good in a lot of different rooms and areas. I'm using this as well on offense. Weapon X actually is a good team to use against Wakandans in room 5. So I've been using them there. If I've used them there if I see it, but primarily they're like a 1 and 2 room type of team. Young Avengers are good in room 4, and they're also good in room 5 as well. So most of the teams that are there, I'll use them against that. And then this is what I use as a cleanup. So pretty strong offensive units that I've been able to have so far. Eternals with Emma and Loki and Zemo. I mean, that just goes very well for me whenever I do use that team. So been doing pretty well so far. I haven't really faced I also have some backup characters too, like Star-Lord, T'Challa. I have a couple of characters on that are plug and play that I can use in certain matchups. There's sometimes too where I take Zemo off this team and I'll use him somewhere else. There are times where I use Eternals not with Loki and Emma. So there's just different things that I'll do depending on the matchup to also make it work for me as well, depending on what trial, what team I'm facing. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, I mean, that's Cosmic Crucible. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the rewards. It's quick for me. Like, I don't really overthink it. So therefore, I'm kind of just taking it as what it is. I'm not really building teams for Cosmic Crucible either. That's just not something that I'm putting in the cards right now. But some other things that I'm doing right now, teams that I'm working on. So I'm really kind of just waiting on Gambit, right? I have like 100+ gold orbs right now that I'm sitting on, just ultimately just waiting for Gambit to show up. As soon as Gambit shows up, you know, we're going to be popping these gold orbs, man. And we're going to try to bring Gambit all the way up to level 85, bring him up to gear tier 15, as high as I possibly can. I think 14 might be the highest because I think I'm like short 4 osmiums to be able to bring him up to gear tier 15. So we're gonna try to max him out as much as we can on day one here. In regards to like Gambit's team though, the Unlimited X-Men team, I'm just not sure that I'm gonna invest into that team yet. My thoughts on Cosmic Crucible teams is this: until the teams that I have are not working well anymore, then I won't invest into a team specifically for Cosmic Crucible. Now, Cosmic Crucible is very important because of the gear that you can get from it, and you are getting a decent amount of that gear as well. But until the teams that I'm using are not doing very well, then I won't really be investing into a team specifically for Cosmic Crucible. I didn't buy Phantom X. I got the 30 shards from the campaign event, from just doing the campaign. That's where I got the 30 shards from. I haven't opened up any orbs. I think maybe I opened up 1 or 2. No, I think you get 30 shards from just doing the campaign, the heroic campaign. So I think that's where those shards came from. Dazzler, I did get the 2 $5 offers that had the cores and then 2 orbs each. For each one of those offers. So I did get 32 shards for her there, but mostly I'm going to be getting the shards from the month-long event. I do actually think Dazzler's kit is okay. She has an ability block that's really cool. I mean, you guys already know what I said about Gambit as well, right? I'm just going to be going pretty hard on trying to get Gambit here. But other than that, really, I just kind of want to just shift over to having some fun in Marvel Strike Force. So one of the things that I am going to be working on is an Uncanny team. That's actually one of after I'm done with like Scourge teams and all that, I'm gonna sort of just shift over to working on my Uncanny X-Men. I've talked about this team so many times, right? Like I want to work on them, but I'm in the weeds, right? Where I'm trying to work on things to get content done. So I've kind of been putting them towards the back burner, and I'm also saving a lot of gold by only spending 1.5 million gold per day because I'm just waiting on Gambit. Once that's done, I'll probably go back to my 2.3. So that kind of slows down your roster progression a little bit, right? So yeah, once I'm done with that, I'll be boosting up my Uncanny X-Men team. Magic, I'm already going to be using our Dark Dimension 5, which I talked about already. And then it's probably just building up Cyclops, building up Storm to do some damage there. And then maybe later on, we'll consider the other Unlimited X-Men characters. That 5th Unlimited X-Men character may change my mind. We'll see exactly what happens there. If it's Nightcrawler, your boy will invest into Nightcrawler depending on what the kit looks like. So that's pretty much the direction that we're going to go in there. Phoenix, I still think is a very strong character. I think there's a lot of usage that you can get out of her there. I think the Uncanny X-Men team is a team that I'm just going to have a lot of fun with. So therefore, I'm definitely going to be investing into them as well. And then what are some other things that we're doing? I heard there's an Asgardian rumor that's out there. So if there are, I'm really only interested in Thor. And I kind of just need, honestly, some justification of why I'm going to put teal gear on Thor. I just need something to justify it. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of, can I justify it if they actually do give him a rework? So that's where I am at right now with Thor. He's my favorite character. You guys know this already. And it's a travesty that he's only at G13 on my roster, being that he is my favorite character, being that my logo literally is me with a Thor hammer or axe that I haven't invested into him yet. So I got to do some stuff for fun, guys. Otherwise, this game becomes incredibly boring to me. So that's the direction that I'm going to be going in here. Wanted to show you this really quick just to wrap things up. What I've been using right now for the Tech Doom raids is a little bit different. because I built up Kate Bishop, I found that she's been incredibly valuable in that second node. I've been using her to, well, pretty much you want to get rid of Doctor Strange as quickly as possible so he doesn't flip your turns, and then you also want to be able to get rid of Sharon Carter. So I've been finding that using the comp with Kate Bishop works very well. Usually I start off, of course, with Shuri defense up, then I use Kestrel special into Doctor Strange. Usually, and she has the Radar ISO on her, so usually she crits, and then she lands the vulnerable on Sharon Carter, and then she also lands the vulnerable on Nick Fury. They take on some pretty good damage. Then I'll usually get Kate Bishop to special into Doctor Strange just to kill him, because she does have the Striker ISO on. So if I do attack Sharon Carter, then she's gonna double tap, and I don't want that because I want Doom to then do his special and then to double tap Sharon Carter, which usually deletes her because she has the defense down, she has the vulnerable. So whenever Doom double hits Sharon Carter, Kesha will usually delete her with her passive ability. And then on the second wave that drops down with Corvus, usually I use Kate Bishop's ult to then blind Corvus, which usually kind of essentially saves the matchup, and I can kind of just go ahead and just delete Captain Sam, delete Ironheart, all that. So second node has been working really well by using Kate Bishop. So that's, if you're building her up for Scourge, you're putting G15 gear on her anyways, she's actually pretty good there. And T'Challa is the last node in the Tech Doom raids, and Nebula, I use it for the first node in the Tech Doom raids as well. It's been going pretty decently well, and I'm doing Doom 2.2, so maybe it doesn't work in 2.3, but that's kind of what I've been doing in Doom 2.2. But listen, guys, appreciate you watching the video. We're gonna wrap it up here. Always love doing this, always love talking about what I'm doing with my roster. I'm not an expert by any means, don't try to be. Really, I really am not trying to be an expert. Just try to have fun in the game, and every now and again I learn things, I share with you guys what I learn, and then we kind of sort of go from there. But listen, appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully you guys like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Until next time, guys, y'all be blessed and y'all be safe, and leave it in the comments if you guys have any questions about anything, or if you have suggestions. Always open to that too. All right, guys, take it easy. Bye.